I have been in the Korean beauty space for over 10 years, and in honor of AAPI Heritage Month, I wanted to sit down and share with you guys the 10 things Korean beauty has taught me. And I've actually partnered with Ulta Beauty on this video because they have been a huge part of my journey in not only the Asian beauty space, but in my career in general. Ulta Beauty was not only one of the first brick and mortar retailers that I used to shop at when I was coming up in my adolescent years, getting into the beauty space in general, but they were also the first store that I saw Korean beauty products actually on the shelves.
I'm really excited to see that they're introducing new international brands, new global brands.
And for me, who has always been a huge proponent of Asian beauty, that was a huge moment. Not just that, but they've given me such big opportunities to share Korean and Asian beauty to a larger audience. So I'm so grateful to partner with them, to be on the Ulta Beauty Collective, and to be sharing this video. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little intimidated by this video because I would say explaining my feelings and emotions is not my strong point. In fact, if you've been on my booktube at all, I say that all the time. But I really wanted to make an effort to put into words how Korean beauty has really impacted my life and my relationship with being Korean in general. So I hope you guys enjoy it because I put a lot of thought into this. And I feel very vulnerable. Okay, anyways. Skincare is a ritual and not a routine. When I first got into skincare in general, I really treated it like a checklist, like cleanse, tone, moisturize, done. But Korean beauty really taught me that it was something a bit deeper. Skincare as a ritual, and that ritual has really been embedded in Korean culture. It really gave me a chance to kind of sit down and realize the intentionality with a lot of things, even the way banchan is placed on a table, or the ritual of making kimchi with the women in your family and sitting around that big kimchi bowl on the floor. Skincare just really became an extension of that. Not just what I did, but how I did it. And I realized that the small, repeated ways that we care for ourselves are sacred. It's not indulgent, it's a practice. And that's kind of where I started to feel more connected with not only my skin, but my culture. When I learned about double cleansing, it changed everything. Before Korean beauty, I used to just wash my face and be done with it. Why complicate it? Then I learned about double cleansing, using an oil-based cleanser to basically shed the outside world from your skin. Oil, the dirt, the grime, makeup, SPF, and then following up with a cleanser to actually cleanse your skin. And honestly, my skin stopped feeling so tight and stripped, breakouts calmed down, and all the skincare that I put on afterwards actually worked better. It was one of the first things that I was actually like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. By the way, this cleanser specifically, you can leave on your skin for 2 to 3 minutes as a moisture mask. Lesson 3, gentleness is powerful. Growing up in the US, especially as a child of the 90s, I was used to very harsh things in skincare. Scrubs with microbeads, foaming cleansers that stripped your skin to squeaky clean, astringent toners. The message was basically beat your skin into submission. But Korean beauty completely flipped that for me. It's rooted in being more gentle with your skin and yourself. Calming, soothing, healing, and that felt really radical. I realized I didn't have to fix my skin through harsh measures like over exfoliating. And honestly, that mindset seeped into my life as well. As an Asian American, I grew up with the stereotype that Asians are quiet, submissive, and easily overlooked. But Korean beauty really reframed that for me. It showed me that gentleness does not equal weakness. It can actually show up in ways of wisdom or strength. It's knowing how to be effective without being the loudest in the room or having to bulldoze through life. And honestly, I spent a lot of my years white knuckling. And side note, as an HSP, if you know, you know, that was a very valuable lesson for me to learn. That shifted not only how I saw my skin, but how I saw myself and how I navigate through life. Essence is the essence of life. Essence was one of those first products that really made me go, wow, this made a visible difference in my skin. It's a stuff that's so unique to Korean beauty that I really don't see anywhere else. And it really just illustrates the foundation of Korean skincare, which is hydration. I always kind of laugh at that Zoolander quote, moisture is the essence of wetness and wetness is the essence of beauty, because that's how I feel about Korean essences. Lesson number 5, it's not about perfect skin, it's about taking care of the skin you have. I used to think that the goal was perfect skin, no pores, no textures, perfectly even, but Korean beauty has really shifted my mindset with that. It's taught me that your skin doesn't have to be flawless to be beautiful. What matters more is that your skin feels healthy, balanced, and cared for. Because when you take time to take care of your skin, nourish it, hydrate it, protect it, It shows. Maybe not in a dramatic way, but in that subtle, I'm taking care of myself kind of way. And that's so much more empowering than chasing perfection. Tradition can be modern too. One thing I love about Korean beauty is how it takes traditionality and updates it to modern skincare formulations. And these aren't just like trendy ingredients we're talking about. They've been used for generations in Korean herbal medicine and skincare. Take Centella asiatica, for example. It's also known as tiger grass because the legend goes tigers used to roll in this grass to heal their wounds. And today, it's still used for its soothing anti-inflammatory properties in skincare. K-beauty doesn't just discard tradition, it reinvents it. And that balance of honoring the past while evolving into something new is what makes it so powerful. Lesson number 7, Korean beauty became my gateway to connect with being Korean. I didn't grow up speaking Korean. We didn't celebrate the traditional holidays. I've never even worn a hanbok. I grew up as like one of 3 Asian kids at my school, and I'm mixed. So for the longest time, I felt like I didn't really have a right to learning about Korean culture. But beauty was something I always had a passion in. And so when I got into Korean beauty, it was like the dots connected for me. It was one of the first ways I felt like I could participate. It was something I could learn, enjoy, and connect with without feeling like I needed someone's permission. It made me realize that participating in culture doesn't always have to look traditional. It's personal, it's intimate, and everyone has their own journey with it. And it also doesn't have to be all or nothing. Lesson number 8, I exist in layers, and that's something that Korean beauty helped me to embrace. Let me explain. Korean skincare is built around the idea of layers, each step building on the last, from cleansing, toning, serums to moisturizing. And I think a lot of Korean Americans, myself included, move through the world in the same way. In layers. Maybe you grew up surrounded by your culture, or maybe you grew up with just pieces of it. Maybe it's something you're still learning how to claim. But Korean beauty showed me I didn't have to simplify myself to belong. Because as complex people, we exist in layers all at the same time. So just like I layer on my skincare, they build up my skin, just like my layers build up who I am as a person. Lesson number 9, I started taking care of my neck too. For the longest time, I just stopped doing my skincare at my jaw. My face, moisturized, my neck, depressed. Then of course, when I got into Korean beauty, I saw all the routines going from the head down. Now my neck gets a full routine. I mean, she's part of the team and she's holding a lot up, physically and emotionally. And lesson number 10, Korean beauty made me fall in love with SPF. I used to hate sunscreen. It stung my eyes, it felt greasy, and it was a mess. But Korean sunscreens are just on another level. The textures feel way more elegant and wearable. And once I found a sunscreen I actually liked, it was easy to wear it daily. I actually tan very easily. Insert a picture of me before I discovered Korean beauty. And I did not tan. That was just me spending a normal amount of time in the sun, but without SPF. So if you ever needed a visual example of how effective Korean sunscreens can be, there's your answer. I am so grateful I found Korean SPF when I did, and I will never go back. So those are the 10 things that I learned from Korean beauty. I am so grateful for the journey that Korean beauty has taken me on, and as I look and reflect through the years, I just realize how much it really has impacted my life. All the products that I showed in this video I got from Ulta Beauty, so I will go ahead and link those down in the description box below. And I just want to wish you guys a happy AAPI Heritage Month. As always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!